So if the Lord is as delightful as we have been talking about him for the last few mornings, doesn't that also mean more? Okay, he draws us to himself because he's gracious, he's true, and his loving kindness is towards us. But what happens when we come to him, when we actually get to him? Shouldn't that mean that, if he is the amazing God that the Bible tells us about, and if we truly were made for him, wouldn't there be some show of that when we start fellowshipping with him? And the answer is that yes, totally, actually. So Psalm 42:8 is the verse I want to bring up for that. It says, "Yet the Lord will command his loving kindness in the daytime, and in the night his song shall be with me, and my prayer unto the God of my life." And so it could go up. We could talk about that a few ways, but let's just say it clearly. So when we find him, when we meet God, when we start fellowshipping with him, a lot changes, just as one would expect if he is such a God. And one is that is his chesed is with me in the day, meaning his loving kindness is with me in the day, as we talked about it, I think a few days ago, that he's like the Old Testament expression for grace is with me in the day, and then his song in the night, and prayer. And I'm going to omit prayer now here, and I'm sorry about that, because this is just a few moments in the morning to meditate on something. But I think it's important. So loving kindness or grace in the day, and when I'm conscious, and then his song with me, even when I am when I'm out of it in the night. So that's an interesting thought, I think, that he has something for us at all times. He has something, he is communicating to us in some way at all times. So when my anxious thoughts would trouble me in the day, then his grace reasons with me and convinces my heart that he is on my side. His grace tells me that very clearly. But then at night, there is something else. At night there is, well, I'm going to mention it because I have to. At night there is prayer, and it's not just prayer. It's unto the God of my life. So at night, you have time to think, you have time to consider things, especially like in the Old Testament, they didn't have, I don't know, they couldn't watch Netflix or anything. They were just there in the night, and they were just they just had time for anything, and maybe even to struggle and so on. And then what do? Well, you pray. You are in that place where you are but the point is that there is something drawing your heart still to him. And then you sleep. You sleep and you're unconscious. And I thought of this about the songs, that there is something less conscious but just as important with me, that there is a song, not just the one that we sing, but the songs of joy and peace in our hearts, and actually there is worship, and there is a growing harmony with God actually in life in our hearts. And this is a great proof of his delightfulness to us. So his grace in the day, his prayer in the night, and his song when we sleep, he always has something for us. And this is like, I remember that verse in Psalm 119, verse 98, I think, that it says that your word is ever with me, your law is ever with me, one of those words. And this is beautiful because his grace is with me even when I sleep. And I don't know if I can correctly convey it, but I'm just kind of wanting to plant this thought in your heart and look at this verse and meditate on it. And I think it's just so beautiful, because if he is so delightful, then that will affect our lives in many ways. And this, I think, is one of the ways that he always has something for us. He always communicates to us on a certain level. He always does something in our hearts if he is really so delightful, and he is. God bless your day with that.